Saturday night's approaching and we have plans on ESPN Cricket for Matchday Runorder, powered by
Techno.
Techno Mobile with Jimmy Faulkner and Shaun Tait, as well as the rest of the gang on ESPN Cricket for Alexis and Isha. And we welcome Srinath Shripath, who doesn't work on Saturday afternoons.
Works elsewhere on Saturday.
Works elsewhere on Saturday afternoons, yeah. Teddy was saying maybe you just went back in the same train that you came in yesterday for the Chennai game. Gaurav Sundaraman, as well, as we take you through all the analysis and data and the intelligence that surrounds the Indian Premier League 2018. While we're still waiting for the rain to clear at the Eden Gardens, we're looking ahead to RCB against Delhi. It's a familiar clash from the two boys of Delhi when they get on the IPL field. Virat Kohli and Gautam Gambhir have a bit of history. We'll be building up to that. The toss has just happened as I speak, and we'll react to that just shortly. That game about to kick off at Chinnaswamy Stadium in just under half an hour from now. Just a quick chat around the Kings 11 chase against Kolkata Knight Riders, and what a start, not for the first time, led by Chris Gayle, no less support from the other end from KL Rahul. 96 in 8 overs, well ahead of the DLS par after Kolkata managed 191 for 7, led by Chris Lynn, Robin Uthappa and Dinesh Karthik. Just get thoughts there. This should be an easy chase if the covers do clear at Kings 11. If not, that's game done.
Should be. Wickets and hands are key. They're obviously not losing any. So, but yeah, it was obviously get Chris out early or could be trouble.
And that's what, 3 in a row now for Chris Gayle. We didn't expect that.
I didn't expect that, but yeah, geez, in some nick, isn't he? And not only him, but his opening partner, Rahul, he's on fire as well.
And it made us realize, Gaurav, with the chat we were saying yesterday, Chennai got about 200 and we thought they might get 220. Today, KKR got 190 when they were looking good for 215, 220, and it could very well not be enough.
Yeah, with the start, what Gayle and Rahul have got, even 250 may not be enough. But yeah, but all teams have been doing this. They've been falling short by 15, 20 runs, and I think they'll have to relook at their strategy while batting first. They all start well, play well till about over number 15, and then the last 5 overs, just I think 50 or 45 odd runs in the last 5 overs, which is very, very low in this format.
It's funny when we're saying that teams are falling short by 15, 20 runs and they're still posting 190, 200.
Yeah. Well, we have to see if there's a general inflation going on in the IPL, whether maybe 200 was the old 180 or we have to move forward. Now, we'll come to that. We're only observing trends. What we have observed is that Kings 11 Punjab have set a trend on how they play in the power play, led by KL Rahul. Of course, he had Mayank Agarwal in the first couple of games, then Chris Gayle to support him. That's 3 scores of 73 or more in IPL 2018 out of 5 innings. A net run rate exceeding that of the others, and they seem to really put themselves ahead of most of the other teams. Now, a lot of this could be Chris Gayle, but how much of this is KL Rahul, who's looked sublime?
Huge part of it. He's a class act. He's a great looking player. And he's just, we were talking about the other day, he's got the confidence to go out there and score from ball dots. So, and you got 2 guys going at it at the same time. It makes a hellish combination for the bowlers.
I mean, when you think of Rohit Sharma at his best when he was opening, this almost comes close. Or maybe Virat Kohli, but Kohli played a different way early on. KL Rahul, right up there, he could very well be one of those, gives you the impression he might easily end as the leading run scorer like David Warner did at the start of the successful season for Sunrisers.
Yeah, he might. But he also got... Excuse me, I'll
There you
swallow
go
something
again.
again. You got to remember that Rohit and Kohli have been doing this for numerous years. So Rahul hasn't done it for 3, 4, 5 seasons of the IPL. But like Teddy said, he's in a hell of a good patch at the moment, and he's hitting everything. He's not afraid to take the ball over the top in the first over and play shots.
Excellent, Srinath, that RCB let him go.
Yeah, the big difference is that he's been pushed up the order where his natural place is. That's where he likes to bat. He has time, and he's not taken any time this time to get going. From the first 2 games, there was no Gayle, and he was the guy who gave them the starts. And one of those 73s is actually all by himself, and he scored that fastest 50.
Yes.
And what I really appreciate is he doesn't take any waste balls or sighters or anything. From the first over, I think he's scored more than 10 runs in each of the first overs he's played, and that's what you need in this format. Yes, it's come batting second, but still, I think you need
fair
that.
enough. I think that puts him a notch above Rohit Sharma also when Rohit used to open. He's also therefore picked up an accolade, Alexis.
He definitely has.
And that is the best strike rate of the match.
Oh, I didn't know I was introducing this segment, but I guess we are. It is time for the best strike rate of the match. We're going to pull up the stats right now, and as you can see, it is that man, KL Rahul, with a strike rate of 200. He has 46 runs, and he's still out there off 23 balls, 7 fours, and 1 6.
Yeah, that makes him our next on best strike rate of the match. And of course, that's assuming that nothing more happens. But he's still outdone Chris Gayle. That's not something too many people do.
Only just.
Yeah. Well, okay, fine. You
For
still want
now.
to bring in your Chris Gayle.
All bias aside.
Right. Looking at the top 3 run scorers in the season so far, and like I said, KL Rahul is giving you the impression that he could very well go on and get a few. Chris Gayle leads the charts, though. Could he possibly, at this age, end up with the orange cap in spite of not starting, in spite of going, 5th or 6th round in the auction? What a story that will be if Chris Gayle ends up winning the orange cap. Early days still, Virat Kohli in action a little while from now, as we move our attention to the RCB game at against Delhi Daredevils, and these are two teams at the wrong end of the table. Again, like I said, it's early days, but Bangalore haven't quite got their combination right. We know that they've made a change, and we also know that Delhi Daredevils are in with a change too. That's what the table looks like if you look at it. Chennai, Kolkata at the right end of it, so too Hyderabad in action tomorrow. Chennai, Hyderabad, that's a mouth-watering clash. Rajasthan and Mumbai next to each other, they kick off tomorrow night, and then Bangalore and Delhi in a little while from now, right? So bragging rights for whoever gets off the foot of the table. Loser could be confined there. The news is that we've got RCB winning the toss and they will bowl first. Thoughts on that? Chinnaswamy Stadium, RCB bowling, Jimmy Faulkner?
Oh, I think they have to bowl, don't they? They're not backing their bowls at the moment. They've only been using 5. They've started using 6. What are they doing with Sarfraz, Negi? Unsure at the moment.
And with Sarfraz, out he goes. So that's
Exactly.
one discussion taken care of. Manan Bora, who played a lot of his cricket for the Kings 11 Punjab and now in RCB colours. Where does he bat? Probably the middle order. Does he get a position up top? Manan Bora comes in. Alexis, I think that takes us to our first poll question.
Exactly. It's time for our very first poll question because we love to get you guys involved. And as you just heard, the news right there, it is Manan Vora coming in for Sarfraz Khan. If you think that's a right move, then just use that emoji. And if you think it's the wrong move, then just use the angry emoji.
The Sarfraz emoji for now.
The Sarfraz, well,
That's
he
what
would
he
be.
looks like. A man they call Panda fondly in the dressing room. What's that?
Fondly.
Panda. Oh. He's got the agility of a panda. Right.
No, aside from RCB themselves chasing, the Delhi bowling attack has been under pressure, especially late on in the innings. So
Yes.
I think that's also another big factor in them
Sure.
deciding. Makes it easier for them to...
There's also a change in the Delhi bowling lineup that Mohammad Shami is missing out. We're not sure if it's tactical, if it's injury, or if it is the other factors surrounding his matters with his legal matters that have made him ineligible for selection. We're not sure, but the news is that Shami is out and Harshal Patel is in, who also played for RCB at one point. So there's plenty of that going around. Harshal Patel bats a bit, bowls a bit, but no Mohammad Shami. We'll just confirm the teams shortly and send them to you. But let's just keep the conversation running. Harshal Patel back in place of Mohammad Shami. Gaurav, any thoughts?
To be honest, Harshal Patel has a much better record than Mohammad Shami in the IPL. When
Right.
you look, obviously, sometimes people pick players on his perceived value, his reputation. But Harshal has been good. He has some good off-cutters, and he can bowl in the death as well. Yes, he has not been great in the IPL, but he's done well in parts
And to
for.
be fair, he played at RCB. So that
Yeah,
makes it
so
harder.
going by the trend, we should see a good performance by him. And the other interesting thing is, where will Manan Vora bat? Now, I hope they make him open because that's where they're good. Already they have Mandeep, who's an opener, Manan Vora is an opener, they have Kohli. It's important that they stretch their batting order a little deep and not be so dependent on Kohli and ABD, considering they're chasing. And Kohli has said there's some rain in the air, and that's why we have chosen to field. So, and you are going to expect 200 on this wicket with the kind of batting Delhi have. So let's see how it
we've
goes.
spoken about this earlier as well. They've got 3 big hitters in De Kock, Kohli and De Villiers. It's important that they spread them down across the order because the lower order sometimes suffers because of...
So let's have that chat then. You've got Quinton de Kock. McCullum was left out last.
Yeah, Corey Anderson.
Corey Anderson.
Anderson,
So I think they're sticking with Corey Anderson. While we thought Colin de Grandin could get a game, that seems to not have happened. So that means between de Kock, AB, the point that Srinath and Gaurav make, you want to start splitting your openers up. They've got 2 openers, Indian openers in Mandeep and Manan, who effectively they're going to put in the middle order. Would you like to change that?
Well, I don't know if you can. That's the thing. They've got the guys up top that, De Kock and Cole and these guys. I'm not sure they can squeeze them in. So maybe just drop them down, one of them down to the middle order.
So it's not a good idea to keep Kohli, to drop Kohli to 3 and maybe make De Villiers bat 4 or 5. Because then that's the other thing.
Well,
They
that's actually not a bad idea at all.
keep De Villiers 5, given they lack the little pedigree in the middle.
So the one difference between other chasers and RCB is that once these big guys go at the top, once they're dismissed, you don't really see a chance in the second half of the innings. Once these guys are dismissed, they literally have nobody to pick up the chase in the
To
second
be fair,
half.
Corey Anderson's only got the 1 game. He can do a job in the middle and got out first ball.
Yeah, so this is the confusion which teams have. You bring in a player, whether you take him for 3-4 games or you keep changing. There are 2 theories. I'm sure the experts know better, but sometimes I feel you have to pick players for that particular opposition, that particular team. It's not about giving a player a long run, because Colin De Grano, we've been telling from the first game, needs to play, but you can't wait for Corey Anderson to flop for 2 more games and then your season's almost over.
Jimmy, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you can talk about their batting and where Coley, AB, who's going to open, but at the end of the day, I'm not worried about their batting as much as their bowling. Their bowling is a struggling, yeah.
In which case, again, the Corey Anderson selection confuses you a little. You would have liked to see Colin De Grando.
I mean, he's had one go at it, but I mean, maybe Corey has been bowling well on nets, and maybe they're going to. Yeah, they're going to back him into bowling.
You're struggling to find a reason to back Corey's selection.
Maybe it's not the proof will be in the pudding, but
sure.
I think De Granholm's there if they need him. End of the day.
Might I also add on a side note how confused I am talking to the two of you and the two of you. Just look at your color combinations. This is bizarre. While I wrap my head around that, Isha, why don't you tell me what's going on with our rookie reporters in Bangalore?
Yeah, exactly. So it's time for ESPN Cricket Info, the internship. Of course, our intern today is sharing with us the pre-match buzz and excitement in Bangalore. And interestingly, he's asking Bangalore fans who they would steal from other franchises to revive the team. So let's see what they have to say.
Wow.
Let's be honest here, guys. RCB haven't had the best of starts this year. So let's talk to some of the fans and ask them what do they think about the season and who can be added to the team. So which player do you think from the other franchises can help RCB turn that season around?
Watson.
Okay, why do you say so? A former player?
Yeah, so I think RCB lands themselves in situations where they need someone concrete in the middle order that can take the game deep. But they lack that person right now, and someone like a Watson would be great.
I think it has to be Gale because that's
so the universe boss.
Yeah.
Gale, duh. Watson. Gale. Anushka.
Okay, so if all of you want someone in, someone will have to go out. So who do you want to go out?
I reckon that was one of our best videos.
Yeah, well,
the quality was on point.
Poor Sarfaraz Khan is not finding much love in Garden City.
Are you surprised though, Rana?
I'm not surprised. What I'm surprised is how Bangalore keep releasing these players that go do well. It used to be what Delhi used to do. But Gaurav, when we were speaking about it, the RCB alumni is looking quite strong.
They've almost become a feeder team now.
Yeah, it looks like Delhi was doing that, and I don't know.
Delhi
Let's see. Let's hope for a turnaround, quick turnaround.
Also, Alexis, I don't want any Arsenal jokes now. Okay, enough of this feeder team.
Hey, Arsenal's not the feeder team. It's more like a Southampton, unless
Right.
you go over to Germany. Anyways, well, guys, we love to get you guys involved and to, step into our shoes sometimes. And you can enter our fan video contest on MDRO. Shoot a T20 related video on your phone, like the one you just saw. WhatsApp the video to us on that number. Selected videos will be featured on the show, and we will select a winner by the end of May. And the winner gets a fabulous chance to intern with the ESPN Cricket Info video team right here.
Brilliant. As I've said, that number with Gaurav Kalra, who looks at these videos all day and forwards them to all his friends, just like how most old people do. So I need you guys to send in your videos ASAP. Okay, let's build up a little contest of our own. I know it's one that we'll save for the second half, given that Bangalore will be chasing. But Chris Morris against Ab De Villiers, two high-profile South African players in the IPL, and to just bring out the information for you. What do we got, Gaurav?
They've played a lot, especially in the domestic in South Africa in the Ram Slam, and I'm sure they met in the IPL. ABD does have a better record. He has scored. So ideally you would want ABD the death now, considering that Morris does not have a good record against him. But these matchups, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We saw what happened with Gale and Narendra today.
Gale and Narendra, we also said Uthappa versus Ashwin. That worked well.
Yeah, and that worked well, but Gale played off Narendra, and the only bad ball he got, he hit him for the 4. So these matchups need to work for it to look good. Sometimes we saw what happened with Virat and Dhaval. That went haywire.
No, it will come down to what Jimmy said. If you concede 200, it really doesn't matter where ABD bats because it's the scoreboard pressure that's talking. I mean, it's just down to the bowlers now.
These matchups, we tend to make these matchups look good. Or we don't, because if they don't happen, then we don't really talk about them. But if they do happen, then we keep bringing up how we spoke of it in the pre-show, etc. One thing we will speak of is the problem Delhi have at the top of the order, because Jason Roy has been fine, 1 hit, 1 miss. But Gautam Gambhir and Shreyas Iyer. There's a bit of a concern there. And Gambhir in T20 cricket since last year, we're looking at a strike rate of 121, which you want to try and boost up in 2018. An average of 32. Just begging the question now. I'm a big fan of Gautam Gambhir, and of course he's back to a franchise he started off at. But there is a slight concern when you've got a player who you know is slightly limited with what he can offer at the top, Terry.
I think I agree with you. I'm a big fan of Gautam as well.
Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Carry on.
I like the way he goes about it. He's a good skipper, a good player, and he's going to do well. Let me guarantee that now. He's going to do well.
You can guarantee it.
Throughout this tournament, he's going to do well.
You can guarantee
he's too good a player not to. Shreyas Iyer is the one
that you're worried about.
That I was concerned about. So that'll be interesting watching him tonight, if he can get away with the score.
The thing is, it's a hard place to be in if you're Gautam Gambhir. You know your captain, you can't be left out of the side. I don't even rule out that knowing Gautam that he might even do something bold like that if the situation demands it. But looking at now, you're batting first, not getting runs behind you. Jason Roy almost seems to go, have to go on behalf of two people while Gautam gets in. Is there anything else that can possibly be done to shake it up?
I don't think so. Obviously, Roy's got that X factor and power, and we saw that in Mumbai. But Gambhir's been strutting his stuff now ever since the IPL pretty much started. So he's got a good record behind him, and let's just see in a few more games what happens.
Can you change the way you play?
So the chemistry at the top of the order is quite important, I think. I don't know anything about batting, but from watching it, I think getting that chemistry at the top of the order is extremely important. We speak about Gale and Rahul, seem to have found it. So that's probably Delhi's challenge, including Iyer in that, the top three, just finding the best way to bat together.
To be fair, that Gautam Gambhir continues to be an excellent player of spin. Many players open. The Washington Sundar could be up against him. There's still a value to having him at the top. Yes.
So the thing about Delhi is you have a lot of stroke makers, aggressive players at the top. You have Pant, you have Maxwell, you have Iyer, you have Jason Roy. So what exactly is Gambhir's role here? Is he a person who needs to play through the innings? Is he an anchor? Or when they had to chase about 200 against Kolkata, we saw him that he was very uncomfortable playing the aggressive role. Even against Bombay, the same thing happened. So what exactly his role is very important. I think today when they're batting first, maybe he could play that role where he just gives signals and the other person attacks. So I think when the scores above 170, 180, which were not too much when he was playing for Kolkata, he looked a lot good. Now when the target needs to be set, or even when they're chasing high scores, I think his game needs to up his strike rate. 121 for an opener
needs to get better than that. Fine. Yeah. All right, Alexis, all goes.
Poll time, or the poll results time now. While many people won't question Gautam Gambhir's value, clearly this one we asked you, Manan Bora, 4-star for us. Khan, was that the right move? 92% of you said heck yeah, and only 8% are siding with Sarfaraz Khan.
Why are we picking on poor little Sarfaraz Khan?
Take a wild guess.
One of the reasons people might be picking on him is that they retained him at the cost of somebody else. I mean, looking at how Gale is going parallel.
Let's be fair, he was retained at a lesser value because he
was
a capped player.
He was, but in parallel,
he was retained.
In parallel, Gale is smashing it to all parts. So
KL Rahul was not retained, he's smashing it.
Remember, Gale is 2 crores, Sarfaraz is 3 crores.
Some photos tucked away with the owner or the captain.
What's that, Jerry?
You might have some photos tucked away with the owners or something.
Right, some
dirt.
That's the sort of insight we've got.
That's a joke.
It doesn't look like he gets around much, so he just focuses on his batting.
I'd like to meet the 8% that said no, it's not the right move.
Oh, it's a damn shame. Okay, Sarfaraz Khan. Let's see if Manan Bora comes in and smashes a 20-ball 40 today, that'll be just perfect to add to it. Okay, another matchup we've got for you. It's always interesting to look at Glenn Maxwell against leg spin, and we're also going to look at some of the bowlers that we've got in front. Umesh Yadav, excellent in the last game, had Mumbai reeling at 0 for 2, and he's genuinely been good, blowing hot in this year's IPL. Just looking at the numbers, dismissed 3 times by both Chahal and Umesh Yadav in the history of the IPL, and there's not much that they've conceded in 5 innings. So there are a couple of bowlers that do get the better of Glenn Maxwell, Gaurav.
Yeah, Umesh Yadav, actually the kind of dismissal against Umesh Yadav is also something which we need to discuss. He kind of moves away and he's got out LBW a couple of times, Maxwell, against Umesh.
You mean gets across?
Yeah, he gets across, tries to hit the ball in the leg side or tries to hit towards fine leg, and he's got out LBW. I remember that, and I think he missed once and got bowled. So with leg spinners, I think that's a common trend with Maxwell.
Don't ever ask him if he struggles against.
Yeah, we know what that will, how that will result in. But yes, so
Let me get Teddy on this as to how Umesh Yadav gets his wickets. In fact, I see some similarities with you. Just quick, rushes the batsman, and he's been a lot more accurate this year. Not a lot more accurate than you, but just generally a lot more accurate. Than himself.
That's the thing. I reckon. Yeah, exactly. He's bowling the stumps with that pace, and you're going to do it right. And especially with a guy like Maxwell, is always going to give you a chance. He moves around a lot. If you stick to your guns, 145, 150k an hour.
Yeah.
Maxwell doesn't like the short ball either with quicks, so he's got that up his sleeve as well. But it'll be interesting to see Kohli's captaincy if he gets those guys on when Maxwell comes up.
It's also something to get it right first up, Jimmy. That's what he did against Mumbai. 2 perfect swinging deliveries to get 2 wickets.
Yeah, I just like the way he goes about it. He runs in hard, he bashes the wicket. And
but he does rely on swing. It's not like he's one of those that gets guys fending or. You won't see much of that in India.
At the start, he'll try and swing it like every opening bowler, but if there's no swing, then he just runs in and just hits the deck hard. And at his sort of pace, it's hard to get away.
And we must remember he's not played much T20 cricket for India in the past. You're just looking at Umesh Yadav against right-handers, and I'll come to you as well, Sri, because Umesh Yadav is an exciting prospect. How well he's bowling under Virat Kohli can only help his chances of playing more T20I cricket for India. But just looking around against right-hand and left-hand batsmen, I think we see a significant difference. 10.6 at economy for the right-handers and going at under 6 against the left-hand batsman. Is that a bit of a surprise for you?
I was going to say that is a massive surprise. It's a great stat, that's for sure. So, again, the captaincy, I suppose that's something for the captain.
How does that explain? If you look at Umesh Yadav's natural sort of angle, how do you explain why it doesn't quite work for him against the right-handers? Is there anything that could, in fact, if anything, it should work more?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe sometimes if you try and bowl straight, you get too straight, I suppose, in the pads. But with a left-hander angling across, I found that sometimes getting too straight with my natural angle would stray into the pads of the right-hander, whereas it's sort of going across the left-hander is hard for them to score at that pace.
One of the things he did speak about was working with Nehra and coming around the wicket to Yuvraj, for example. One of the 3 wickets is Yuvraj Singh. One, he hurried him for pace first up, and then he bowled a full one which got his stumps. So he came around the wicket.
He also did to Ishan Kishan.
He's done it a couple of times now in 3-4 games, so he's kind of started well, better than he usually does.
What I see the big problem, which we've already earlier discussed for RCB, is these matchups may not really come into play purely because we don't know who their death bowlers are. So do you bring in Umesh early on? Do you finish Umesh early on? Who bowls to death? They don't have that specialist. So would you bowl spin in the death? Maybe Chahal he bowled 1 over in the death. Maybe they would look to bowl spin. I think Washington bowled in the second half of in one match. So they're still not clear who's the go-to bowler for the death.
We'll find out soon enough. I'll come to that question of the two of you, but before that, Isha, let's get buzzing.
So I'm starting with this post of Chris Gale, and he's confidently ringing that bell at the Eden Gardens at the start of today's game. And obviously the confidence worked because, he holds the orange cap, which could change in a matter of a couple of hours because obviously Kohli is trailing closely behind. He looks happy and he's going through.
That original concept that Saurav Ganguly brought to the Eden Gardens of a bell being rung before the start of play.
So just touching upon, obviously these two teams are at the bottom of the table, so this fan I feel is wishful thinking. He's flipped the table so they're at the top. Hey,
it's brilliant.
Brilliant, right?
No, it's not, but it's pretty poor. At least
he must be a very hardcore RCB fan, I guess.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and this is another hardcore RCB fan. I like my artwork. This is an amazing drawing of Kohli. Don't you think, guys?
Wow.
Pretty impressive.
I think there are apps you can use to just take a normal picture of Kohli and just make it grayscale. But has he actually drawn this?
Yes,
that's amazing.
I think that's pretty impressive.
I think you guys are pretty naive.
Ronak, don't doubt the person's
We can't doubt our Kohli fans.
I'm going to Google every picture of Virat Kohli, all the 3 billion of them, and see if there's one identical like that and see if you can
Of course there is. He must have taken inspiration off of one.
So that's what he's going to say. You know this guy, this sketchy.
It was probably me.
Jimmy's got one.
Don't worry about Googling photos of Virat.
Number one Kohli fan in the room.
Don't worry about Googling photos of Virat. Just go into Alexa's hotel room. She's got them everywhere.
Really? My God, that's what you carried in your... That's what your luggage was.
Maybe the artist was Sarfaraz. Maybe the artist was Sarfaraz.
Okay, it's a comedy show now.
This is escalating.
Everyone get yourselves together.
Everyone's taking them jabs.
Oh Lord. What else? Is that it then?
That's it, yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, that's it. No, I'm sorry. Well, you did well, Isha, but some of that tipsy-turvy tabling and whatnot. Okay, head-to-heads. Let's give you that information as well. This is Bangalore against Delhi, and we've got 11, 6 and 19 matches. There's one tie in that. Anyone remembers that tie?
Yeah.
Bangalore won it.
In Chinnaswamy, Ravi Rampal was the bowler.
Ravi Rampal was the bowler. Wow, well done, Gaurav Sundaram. And one no result as well. Which could very well happen today given all the rain around. So this entire conversation is therefore rendered pointless. But let's, in any event, take the chat that they had regarding Bangalore's death bowlers and who they actually are and how we should go about it.
I think it's a good time to throw it to the big quick Umesh and just say this is your job. Even if it's just one over at the end. I mean, he can be handy through the guts as well, through the middle, sorry. But I'd say you're the strike bowler. We need you to finish things off for us.
I mean, let's think about it. We've got Chris Wokes, Umesh Yadav, Mohammad Siraj. Those are your out-and-out quick bowlers. You've got Corey Anderson, Chahal and Washington Sundar. So you do have 6 bowling options, which you didn't start the tournament with. Who'd you give the new ball to? I'll ask both of you that. You give the new ball
I'd go new ball for Wokes and Umesh.
Umesh, okay.
And then old ball for the death overs for the same 2.
Alright, so Umesh and Wokes are your 2 up.
Whether Wokes just bowls one and then Shiraz bowls the other.
Sorry?
Whether Wokes just bowls one at the top.
Yeah.
And then, 2 through the middle, 1 at the end, and same as Umesh.
We know Washington Sundar does take the new ball, Jimmy, but would you go with that you start off with pace against Jason Roy and Gambhir?
Well, it's a big problem that they've got, and we even spoke about it the other day, saying that Umesh probably should have got 3 straight in the power play when he was on fire. For me, him and Wokes have to bowl at the end. It's just a matter of how they work it.
So I mean, MS uses Bravo 4 straight at the end. Rohit uses Bumrah and Mustafizur 1 in up top, 1 middle, 2 end. How would you? I mean, we've almost tried to break it down for Virat Kohli. If he's watching, he could get help.
They're deaf bowlers. We're still not sure about the Bangalore guys, but if you give them the confidence to become death bowlers, there's no reason why they can't.
Okay, Srinath, Gaurav, I'm sure you've done your little tactical acumen.
No, we've seen Siraj get hit at the death
Yes,
in the past.
so Siraj could take the new
Siraj
ball
is somebody who need to bowl out before the death overs begin. Chris Wokes is somebody who's rated as a death bowler, so Wokes and Umesh probably should.
And if you actually look at both teams, they are the worst death bowling attacks in this.
Fantastic, Gaurav.
In this among the 8 teams.
So more cynicism from you.
No, the numbers say so. In terms of
yes.
death overs run rate, both Delhi and Bangalore are one of the worst. So it's not like both teams are very similar. Malls is not doing well. So I think it's going to be a battle between which top order does much better than the other. And in terms of death bowling for Bangalore, I think I would try spin. Chahal is a good option. He's not gone for too high, and maybe
it's strange. I think opened with him in a couple of games.
Yeah, maybe I would bowl Umesh full 4 overs at 1 shot and keep Wokes and Chahal for
That's
the
interesting. Very quickly, Alexis, Chinnaswamy Stadium sees a lot of 6s, and therefore let's get straight to it.
We have a competition going on within a competition, and that's the Tata Nexon one-handed fan catch. All you have to do is, when you see a ball going into the stands, just try and catch it with one hand. I hope Ronak's not going to try and throw it to me, because I promise you I will not be catching it. But if you do, you could win 100,000 rupees and a chance to win a Tata Nexon car, and somebody has done it already here in Mumbai. So guys,
all right, okay, just to throw it, I don't know who I'll throw it to. If you're to be ready, yeah. Oh, my God!
The ever safe hand.
Left hand, that too. So skilled. Okay. That's a wrap then. There's already players have taken the field at Chinnaswamy. Let's get a quick prediction on the score. 190, 200. Teddy, stop playing. 190, 200.
I'm going to go, 185.
185, good score. Okay, Jimmy?
165.
Well done, Jimmy.
Oh, let's just throw something out there.
You've got an impish sense of humor on this. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Shaun, Tait, Jimmy, Faulkner, Srinath, Gaurav, Alexis, Isha. We'll all be back at halftime. No, only 3 of us will be back at halftime. We'll all be back at full time to give you the very latest on the result. Thanks for watching ESPN Cricket for Matchday Runorder, powered by Techno Mobile.